Get in. Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and our fabulous guest today is
Darren Simpson.
Welcome, Darren.
And as you can see, we are live. We love being on location. We're from the Walton Youth Community bus. Are we bus?
We're on a bus.
We call it the base.
The base. We're on the base. The mobile
youth.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a base with wheels, though, isn't it?
Yes.
And a driving.
Walton Youth Community Project on wheels.
On wheels.
Is our strapline.
Amazing.
Just great.
Brilliant. Okay. So we do have a little format. I am prepared. Look, I even have a book. Okay. Shout out to the kids. Any kids who've done amazing things. And I know that you'll have loads of little people to shout out at.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go first.
Am I going first? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you would go first.
No, you can go first.
So, who have I got? I've got loads. So I would say, I have got a couple of individuals, but all of our young people who come to our project make our day every day. When we turn up at that door, when we see them on the streets, it makes us like, hey, this makes our job worthwhile. A couple of people. So we've just done a residential in Yorkshire, Playaway, Ashton Grange. It's a great outdoor heated swim pool, farm animals, just getting the kids out there.
Lovely outdoor pool, yeah, okay.
And a couple of yeah, it's heated as well now. It's when you get out that's the problem.
She's still like that. No. Anyway.
No, it's heated.
So we've got a couple of kids there. Megan, Grace, Lacey. So they were very worried about going first time away from home.
Yeah.
Really like, I don't want to go. But actually pushed themselves out of the comfort zone, had a boss time, and can't wait to go next year.
Oh,
so that's really good as well. But the other one, I'll talk about her later actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a shout out, and it's not for a child. It's not a little person, but because they're still at university.
A young person.
A young person,
okay.
Yeah, okay. So she is a grown up, but I'm classing her as a young person. Is Bridie, Bridie Nesbitt, who is in Scott, who's in university in Glasgow, who'd had a bit of a traumatic week and sort of rang for Auntie Sandra help with French, which I did with her last night. And she sent me a lovely message this morning, and she feels much better and all positive, so I'm happy. So, and she's coming back to Liverpool in a couple of weeks. So there we go. So shout out to Bridie for persevering.
And I'm going to shout out to the singing choir who are in L14, and they are looking for places to be able to go and sing.
Oh.
So like any Christmas concerts, any nursing homes, anything like that, who want a little choir to go and sing, get in touch, and we'll put you in touch with them. I think they've just started, so they want like a little bit of experience to perform and things like that. And a shout out to all the kids who access youth services. And it is National Youth Working Week.
National Youth Work
Brilliant.
Week.
Well,
National Youth Work Week, yes.
All week.
So we're celebrating everything to do with youth provision. So success this week for you personally can be anything. Can be that you've had your hair cut, because I see you've had your hair cut to be on here today.
Well, we can't talk about my haircut.
Why?
See, Connor's laughing now in the background.
Oh.
I couldn't say that because my barb was there, but
okay.
But apparently you cut your hair like a certain way so it goes over, which is what I asked them this morning, because when it come down there, it was a bit coming down.
Yeah.
And then that bit was short. So these would all take the mick at me for the last month. Like, so I thought I'd get a cut and I say, can you just make sure you cut it straight this time so it doesn't come down? Right, that's how you do it properly. You're supposed to leave the bit hanging down, so you get the comb over. But
oh, it's nice, isn't it? I like it. So what's your success this week?
My success, so as part of National Youth Work Week, the National Youth Agency have asked me, or interviewed me last week to do a case study about how I got involved in youth work. And that's getting broadcast on Thursday, so keep an eye out on Twitter and social media.
Amazing. We'll share it.
I'll give you a little insight to it in a bit.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your success this week?
Well, I've had a few successes, but one of the successes is, we're launching our very first sign language, introduction to sign language, just a 6-week course, a couple of hours a week. And Helen's, you're actually doing the training on it, because I don't sign, but and we've had people sign up and pay the deposit, so we're all set to go. So I'm really happy about that. So that's starting next Monday evening.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, we've still got a few places if anyone's interested. So an introduction to sign language, 6 weeks, Monday evening, 6:30 to 8:30, and you're done.
And where's it at?
In the Baltic, in our
with
offices. We have a conference room we can use.
I've always wanted to learn sign language.
That's brilliant. 6 weeks, Monday night.
We've been talking about this as a team. Sorry to butt in.
No, it's okay.
since lockdown, and we've really struggled really to find someone to do it. We've got someone who accesses our food provision who's actually deaf.
Oh, okay.
And it's really bad because she communicates through paper, and we have to try and leap braid, and she leap braids off us. And I think we need to do sign language courses. That
really,
might fit in really
And it's
well.
only the basics, you know what I mean, that you're going to learn. If you can say hello to somebody, you're opening the world up to them.
Yeah.
And you're opening yourselves up to them, which is
We'll have a chat about that later,
So there you go. Amazing. So my success this week is I started the growth platform course, which was amazing, which is for 10 months, which is brilliant. And my red face comes from that as well, which is a whopper. And I haven't told you about that, but it's a whopper. But also we applied for Whack-a-Ball to Liverpool Soup.
Yes, which is very
we are in.
Oh.
So next Thursday we've got a pitch. So a week Thursday, which is the 17th.
Yeah.
Three people get the opportunity to pitch, and you win the money on the door. So we're looking to train Whack-a-Ball instructors around Liverpool City region to spread the Whack-a-Ball. And we got picked, so that's like good. So we're going to do a pitch for that.
And we've got a Whack-a-Ball.
And we've got a Whack-a-Ball. So I'm going to give everyone a little tour of the bus in a minute. We'll do that towards the end. I'll give everyone a little tour of the bus. So that's brilliant. So we've all had really, really good weeks. So we're going to play this or that. I'm moving my book so you can't read them because
can I just talk about another success though? I just have to mention though, is like Newcastle United Football Club.
100%.
How we are like, we just want people to play. And I'm driving up there tomorrow night. I'm driving up there on Saturday to go and see them play.
And the High Performance podcast was Eddie Howe this week.
Was it?
Yes, and it's amazing. I listened to it this morning
and
it's absolutely brilliant.
So we're flying high. We don't expect to be high. But it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's
great to be joined.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Am I going first?
Yeah. Go on.
All right.
Okay.
This or that. Okay. KFC or Nando's?
See, we get donations off KFC and Nando's to give to the kids every week as well. So,
for you though, not
for
the
me,
kids.
It depends what mood you're in, because sometimes I really like when you hit the juicy bits of the chicken.
Yeah.
So when you take off the skin of the chicken,
he says chicken like a Scouser now.
He's got a lot of Scouse in his accent.
I would say KFC because it's more easily accessible. I don't have to go and pay and park in town.
Oh, okay. What about you? KFC or Nando's?
Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's.
Nando's. There's absolutely nothing I can eat in KFC because they don't bother corn on the cob. They don't do gluten-free chicken, so it's all you can't. There's nothing gluten-free at all. So Nando's.
Yeah.
And you took me for my first Nando's.
We did. We had our first Nando's
twice now.
Boss. So. I don't eat either now.
Vegan.
Because I'm vegan, eat plant-based things. But I would go Nando's. What about you, Connor? KFC. Connor says KFC.
I think KFC is a bit more juicy, but if you want a full chicken, then you've got to, But we're going at, I can't choose.
Nice.
Oh, okay, go on, your go.
T-shirt or hoodie?
I'm a t-shirt person. I don't like hoodies to make me. I don't like them.
Okay.
Although I do have a hoodie, but one of our staff team members still hasn't replaced it from last August. So if you're watching, you still need to bring it back. Every week I keep asking for my hoodie, but I never wear it. So.
Get the hoodie back. You're being shamed now. I would go hoodie.
Okay. It depends on the time of year for me. So t-shirt definitely, because that's when the weather's warmer. But I like to have a hoodie on in the house and winter.
What about you, Connor?
T-shirt.
T-shirt for Connor.
Okay.
And he's sitting in a hoodie.
No, only because actually he's off.
He can show his tats off. He's got lovely tattoos. Yeah, I like the lion on the top. Okay, lentil soup or tomato soup?
See, I haven't had tomato soup for ages.
Yeah. It's disgusting. That's why.
Okay, so it depends.
Yeah, if you're sick, you had tomato soup.
Yeah, if you're sick.
It's chicken soup normally.
Chicken,
yeah, homemade. I have tomato and lentil, don't I?
Yeah.
I make. And you've had that. You thought it
that was all
nice,
right. That was nice because
you just don't like the tomatoes, do you?
I can't decide. I go for tomato. I think
tomato.
Over lentil, yeah.
If I had to pick one or the other,
one for the rest of your life.
Tomato.
Lentil for me. What about you, Connor?
Proper tomato.
Neither.
Covent Garden, not in a tin.
So Connor doesn't want any soup.
I don't like soup.
Okay. What about you, Sam? Let's go.
Pumpkin soup before.
Nice.
That I made. I thought we're using these pumpkins. Okay then. Halloween or bonfire night?
Bonfire night all the way. I love sitting there looking at the flames, just making loads of different colours, loads of shapes. Yeah.
bonfire night goes to fireworks. I love fireworks.
Halloween.
And Connor's just gone to see if somebody's getting on the bus. So we can't ask him. I know, because he's gone. Okay. Jet ski or paddleboard?
So you've obviously been on my Facebook then, haven't you?
I know.
Jet ski. So I've got a jet ski license to drive one, as you've seen on
Yeah.
the picture. I'd go for a jet ski for a more thrilling, but for a chilled out little day out, I'd go on the paddleboards in the sunshine.
I'd go paddleboard on the sunshine.
Jet ski. A, I've been on a jet ski and I've never been paddleboarding. And B, there's no way I'll be able to stand up on one of them things. It was bad enough in the canoe.
No, you'll be able to. Liverpool Water Sports Centre now, the Queen's Dock paddleboard. They've got one, so they're extra wide, so it's easier to don't fall off.
Oh, God, mate. Oh.
We'll do it. We'll do it for free.
Yeah. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
A jet ski or a paddleboard, Connor? Jet ski.
Yeah, he was going to say that.
Motors. Of course.
Cool. Your last one.
Okay. My last one. Would you rather watch Newcastle play at Anfield or at home in Newcastle?
That's easy. Now.
Yeah.
Because I'm travelling back. At St James's Park, atmosphere is just the best ever now.
Yeah.
You step inside, your hair's on the back of you, just go, ooh. And then the
I've
flag
never been to
display,
St.
war
James's
flags do a
Park.
fantastic display. Oh, it's just so loud, and you can hear it across the whole city.
Yeah.
As well when they score.
We've
We've been scored a lot.
So I've seen Liverpool, Newcastle in Anfield, but I've never been to St James's Park.
Haven't you?
No, and it is on my list. So yeah, I think I'd like to go to St James's Park.
You need to try and get tickets for the Newcastle Liverpool.
I'd go watch anyway. I'd go watch Newcastle against anyone. What about you?
I'd go to Anfield. It's near it.
It's nearer. What about you, Connor?
The Reds Hallsey.
In Anfield?
Obviously,
Anfield.
yeah.
Is that because you've got a nice expansion of your stadium?
And because I'm out of it for them, so I can't really say on.
And he sort of works, yeah. Sounds.
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so we are here to celebrate Darren and the Walton Youth Community.
What's a
Right,
youth
Simon?
and community project?
Walton
Must be
Youth I know, I always miss a bit.
It's
Because
all
then I
right.
go like W, I'm like that in my head. WYCP.
I'd just like to say that normally people come on our show and then they go off to better things like Radio Merseyside and stuff. But we're doing it the other way around because you were on Radio Merseyside the other week, weren't you?
I was,
I
yeah.
know.
I mean, Helen has been asking me for.
I've been asking him for like a year.
Well, I'll let you do your proper introduction because
Yeah.
So this is Darren. I've known Darren since 2018, 19? 18, yeah. We were on a course together. We were on the School of Social Entrepreneurs together, which was amazing. We had a great time there, which is where the KFC and the lentil soup questions came from.
Yeah.
So we went to this garden centre and it was a vegan plant and we were fuming, weren't we?
Yeah, but I didn't know it was vegan at the time.
And we bought KFC.
And we took it back there. But I didn't know it was a vegan only, plant based.
You're vegan.
I know, and that's why it's so funny.
So I probably insulted them all.
Imagine the smell of the chicken wafting through there.
The cat was like that. The cat
What is this?
So we had an absolute ball, and Darren's done amazing work. And I just think his stories like that inspiring. And yeah, we're going to hand it over to you, and then we'll butt in and ask you questions.
Well, hand it over to
So
me.
about
So,
your journey,
so
how
about
you
my
come to
journey.
do what you do,
So
and
quite
what you're
interesting.
doing now.
Yeah, quite interesting though, because I've just obviously wrote the case study and they asked me the same question. So back in the 90s, I was obviously living in Newcastle. So I was that middle person who was in the middle between the good groups and the bad groups, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me who got caught. So you go, which way am I going to go? And then I remember youth workers coming in to our school. Didn't know there were youth workers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Jared and Liz. Jared might be watching because he follows me on Facebook. So Jared knew, so I'll give him a little thing there. So they worked for the National Trust in a City project, and that was about getting young people involved in positive activities, and their role was to take us out into the countryside, visit their properties. So people from the inner city would go out into the countryside and see the properties where fortunately that closed because not enough people were after many years, but they did a lot of group work with us and developmental work, and I didn't realize at the time, and it's only the last really few years that I've really noticed that actually it was Jared and the team there who actually instilled some of the works. They talked about group development, Cobb's learning cycle, you go on outward bound courses, we did loads of conservation stuff, volunteering, building bunk beds and base camps and stuff. And it's all that stuff and the opportunities. And then last year at school, one of our teachers, Keith Taylor, did a sail from New Zealand to Australia. Ocean Youth Trust Club it was at the time, now Trust. We're doing a world voyage. I wouldn't mind going to Australia. $2,000 it cost, so I had to fundraise and stuff. And then I got there. But a few weeks in New Zealand and a couple of weeks in Australia, traveling around.
I didn't know that.
No. You're probably the one because everyone online are always talking about that again. But while I was on there, it was like, see the moonbow? I've seen 2 moonbows in my life, which is a rainbow in the nighttime, so it's just silver, amazing. And when I come back from them, it was like I actually got my own independence. I can do things for myself. Sounds really bad, but I didn't need like mum, dad, family and stuff like that. So I go do stuff. And I always wanted to be an outdoor pursuits instructor.
All right, okay.
So then I got put on a leadership course in the lakes, leadership in the community, and out with Boundles Water 3 weeks, and then met ex-girlfriend. I moved to Liverpool, back and forwards. Went to college here, went to university, bought a house, and still here since. And started in Walton Youth Project in 1998. Wow! So 25 years on the 4th of February next year.
We're having a party.
Brilliant.
Well, I don't know. I didn't realise that it was 25 years because you just
quarter of a century.
Not one day's been the same.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that when you were talking about Walton Youth Community Project and you got it mixed up. Yeah. So when I started, it was Walton Youth Project. But Walton Youth Project used to be Walton Youth Centre, which started in the 60s.
Wow.
So one of our trustees, Brenda, has been part of it, was part of Walton Youth Centre. And we've always had youth presence. And then the youth centre, late 80s, early 90s went on fire on Heathcote Road. Yeah. And then they set up Walton Youth Project as a charity in 1994. And I started in 1998 as a detached youth worker working on the streets, as well as doing Duke of Edinburgh's award as well, because I'd done my bronze, silver, gold. And they wanted me to teach her. And then moved on, and I stayed through Walton Youth Project, started part-time, then full-time. And I've been full-time for the last 16 years, managing Walton Youth Project. And they see the currents of the changes, and it's just amazing. You know what? You can never get a better job. And the impact, funny enough, the impact, we talk about Youth Work Week, and it's about the impact that we have on youth workers. And sometimes we don't realise the impact that we have. Yeah. And I did a podcast the other week as well. I won't, no competition.
That's all right.
But the young person who contacted me, who's now working for the podcast people, he was a young person with us.
Wow.
And he was on the phone to me going, we want to interview Darren, and you changed my life.
Oh,
Taylor it is. And you don't realise, he basically, we were doing a residential, and he'd never been on a school trip. Mum wouldn't let him, and he'd never been away. So me and my colleague we kept doing home visits to his mum just to reassure, look, this is what's going to happen medication-wise, blah, blah, blah. And just put it at ease and come on. Then he went, that just changed my life, take me out of the city. And I didn't realise that the impact there. And some of our funders want the impact now. How many young people are you working with? How did you change them? But actually, that was 7 years ago when he first started with us, and I had no idea.
And you know what? But he hadn't forgotten that, and he had you back on to interview you. And when I was 14, I went on an exchange trip to France, which changed my life completely. When I became a teacher, I fundraised to take the kids away because they hadn't had a holiday abroad. And I think if something there's very few people who've had a massive impact on them like that that don't pay it back later to other kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, it's like you were saying about impact, but even just to change one person's life like that, it's so worthwhile.
100%. Now we've got so the kids that are attending now, so the 8-year-olds, their mums came to our project. Yeah. And their mums came to our project. Before I started, it's like, Darren was our youth worker. And you go, Jesus, that makes me feel like but the stuff that we do, so we've got obviously youth clubs in the evening, so we open 3 nights a week. Yeah. So young people come, we have a junior and senior night, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
So how old's that when you say junior? Is that similar to school ages?
8 to 12 for the juniors.
Yeah, okay.
And then 13 plus for the seniors. And there's a little gap between the 12 and 13-year-olds because sometimes we'll put them in to stay for the seniors, and they'll come back to juniors, just get them a bit comfortable. But sometimes it's like a big giant leap, isn't it?
But we were, for those people who haven't been here, we've had a look around your building here. And it's quite good the way you've got it, because you've got it split up into different areas. So you could quite easily section the younger ones off. And you were saying you do photography course and different activities. It's not just about, if anyone remembers, like when I was young, I used to go to a youth centre in Egbert. That was done in one of the church halls there. And it was just a gang of people and a tuck shop, and that was it, maybe a little disco or something on a Friday. Same, the one with my primary school. But I think, you know, you've got proper activities, like you were talking about doing herbs. You were showing us in the back there, you're showing them how to grow vegetables and plants and things. And then you've got a space you've just had built to do. I'm a great believer in showing people how food grows, and then, you know, from the ground to the plate, and then showing them how to cook it. You've got DJ thing, you've got decks there for people to mix, and you know, you've got some really cool stuff going on. It's not just sitting around.
It's interesting, like, when you say that you would just go to the youth club, but it's like the socialisation, the team building, the teamwork, friendship,
sense of belonging, isn't it? Going somewhere, safe space.
And having that trusted adult as well is a massive thing for us as youth workers, if someone to come and talk to. So like you had a young person who was part of our alternative education project. He finished with us, school finished him early, and then was just left. But we were the only people that were accessing him. You know, social services and that couldn't get into the house. And then he came back to us and said, can I have some support? I've been left. And no one's helped me afterwards, like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, we'll help you. Now he's back on he's on a CSCS card. You know,
he's still like doing this building
stuff, and he wants to get on there. So it's great that they come back to us. No, actually,
I'm safe.
Got someone there
to speak to somebody, and they've got the best interests at heart.
You know, and you were saying that, like I was saying, just go to youth club. But I suppose in those days it was quite different, and that was sort of a local church-run thing. Well, they're both different churches and that. But for people who aren't here, on the wall you've got posters. You can see sort of one over there, and it's a national youth work curriculum. And a lot of people won't realise, but you've got all these sort of criteria to meet in what you deliver to young people.
You have to. You've got your core values, and then you've got obviously all the stuff around it. So you've got participation, empowerment, employability, and education as well. So they're our main four stuff. And then around that, you've got all your life skills. And then you obviously link into quality standards, outcome framework, you've got national occupation stuff as well. And then you've got the UNRC, which is children's rights. I can never get it right. So we have to underpin all that stuff, and everything that we do is planned into like what themes is coming up. So Anti-Bullying Week, Black History Month, LGBT, the whole lot. And we always link our activities into them, and the kids are all like, this is great.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean?
It's great for them to experience something, and then they'll probably go and then speak to somebody else, and then they share the knowledge with us. It's like proper life skills, isn't it?
So that's just like the youth club, and then we've got so we do like one-to-one support, mental health, targeted support. So we've got like drawing and talking therapy. So the young people draw stuff, and then we'll analyse it with them and get to talk with it. We've got detached youth workers. So we'll go out in the streets, and that's how I started. So we work with young people on their street, on their territory.
Which is where the bus comes in.
And the bus comes in.
Base. The base, sorry.
So the base.
It looks like a bus from the outside.
Yeah, and it's not new as well. It's 2004. It was built. It was made, and it used to belong to the city council. It was asset transferred to us as a consortium, and then we took it on the ownership of it, and did a crowdfunding.
We did
campaign.
A great fund run, didn't you?
Yeah, raised £10,000 to get it all wrapped and stuff. Huge media. In Speak, they wrapped it all and designed what it looked like, with obviously young people's involvement as well. So the design come from us and with young people's involvement. Amazing. How do you like this? The same as the logo.
It's the logo, isn't it? Because the logo was created by the kids, wasn't it?
So the original bit in the middle is the original logo, which is about signposting young people and giving them a direction in life. And we did a campaign on social media saying, what would you like? And these are some samples we got the designers to do, and they were like, we want the old logo, but we had to make it from black and white to a bit colourful, so that the people represent everyone around them, giving them a direction in life. So that's what it's about.
Thank you for our t-shirts. So
yes, you got t-shirts.
We'll wear them with pride and promote it.
I can't give you the cushions.
No, I don't want the cushions.
The cushions is lovely.
But we do like food parcels and
you
Together Tuesdays. What else do we do?
You did an amazing
coffee mornings as well. So every Wednesday now we're doing a coffee morning 10 till 11. Come in free charge.
It's a big place for coffee mornings, actually. And Alfred has put a poster on saying about they had one this morning, and there's different areas throughout the city for different age groups. Coffee mornings are great.
Just gets people involved.
Get in, and there's something that used to happen a lot more years ago, I think. And people need to get into that and talking to people, and It's about promoting cohesive community,
Yeah,
isn't it?
especially with lockdown.
Yeah.
People are
Social
still
isolation,
afraid to come out of the
Yeah.
house and to mix with people. And we had a young person in the photography project tonight had a mask on.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? And it's like making sure that they feel comfortable to still do that,
Yeah.
but also to still feel connected as well.
Absolutely.
That's the main thing as well.
Absolutely.
We do a lot of volunteering as well.
But you did during half term, you do like loads of projects, didn't you?
Yeah, so we've
And
got.
Didn't you do the food, the family? Feed
Yeah,
the family.
so we get half funding, which stands for holidays, activities, and food,
Yeah.
which is the City Council, Merseyside Play Action Council. Get funding from the Department of Education, give it to providers, and we provide 4 days a week minimum, 4 hours a day, and every kid gets a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And then this half term, we're given some extra funding to do some meat to eat,
That's it, meat to
which
eat.
is a mouthful to start with. But basically, parents and the kids come and eat together.
Lovely.
What we were getting as parents to come there, but we're also getting the kids to come.
Yeah.
And the parents didn't really want to come in.
Yeah.
So the kids were taking the food to them
Okay.
and having takeout as well, like, do you know what I mean? Which was really nice. And then coming back for theirs.
Yeah.
And seconds and thirds.
Good.
But that's a massive thing that we've seen now is the need of food. Like we used to have like the odd kid coming and have some more seconds.
Yeah.
Now sometimes it's like thirds and fourths. And I've never noticed it's so bad.
And one of the things, you know, again, in my teaching experience was saying to children, hearing the tummies rumbling and saying, oh, what have you had to, just to the child quietly on their own, what have you had to eat, hon? You know what I had to eat, because I used to sit and have my lunch with the kids in school. You know what I had to eat, you were with me yesterday. So the child's just getting a hot dinner at school and that's the only meal. So I can, a lot of people can't comprehend that. It's so common.
We get obviously donations through Fair Share. We do the food parcels every week, but also we get donations off Asda, Tesco, so their food surplus stuff. And then behind you, if you look out the window, there's a little shelf there that we put the food on there, and they just come and collect it. We get a few people going, can we give you a donation? We go, you don't have to. No, it's there, it's free.
It's not
like,
fantastic.
wow.
Yeah.
But we get it for free, so we can have it for free as well.
And
it's
of
much
course,
needed.
people keeping warm as well now, which is a thing over the next few months.
That's going to be the biggest thing, and I think that's the biggest threat to all community centres, youth groups, is about our cost of living, but also the kids and their families, because the massive increases that we've got now, and how they're going to afford it, I don't know. But hopefully that we're looking at trying to become a warm hub where people can come in as well. Heating's on, so the door's always open, so go and have a cup of tea.
And I have to say, the bus is not the bus, the base. The base that move, the base on wheels, is surprisingly toasty.
Well, it is, because you can probably
Just,
hear the heater
just
on
put the heating back on. So Darren and I are melting.
No, it's my legs. My
Sandra's like thawing out.
Well, we a part of the bus, we've got a mobile cinema. So we've got a 20-foot inflatable screen. We've got deck chairs, so you can sit out. And we've just bought some fleece blankets, so I could give you a fleece blanket as well. So having the cinema there, which we've got silent headphones.
Yeah. We had the silent headphones.
You bought the silent
headphones,
didn't you?
And,
which is great. So they're fantastic.
Amazing.
But that's great for people with sensory needs. So when we did a Halloween party last year, some of our young people's got some needs there, and they really struggled with the noise, having the music on and stuff like that. So we asked the half funders, could we buy some silent headphones, and we funded it. And now we can have 3 different types of music. We can have a chill out zone, and they can just walk around with the headphones on silently. It's like the weirdest thing ever.
So it's massively inclusive what you're doing. I loved your deck chairs you've got for when you do your cinema.
I have to see it.
The deck chairs are nice.
They're really cool.
So they're like old-fashioned beach deck chairs, aren't they? The wooden ones that all fold out, but the actual bit where you sit on is all branded.
Branded with the logo and a QR code. We always like our QR codes. So you can scan. That's not ours, but you can scan the bus has got QR codes all the way around it. And it takes you to all of our social medias, our websites, donation pages, and you get more information and everything, reports a lot, like so. It's great.
So if people see the base out and about throughout Walton, so it's you specifically stick to this area.
So we do stick to Walton. We can go anywhere we want, really. So the bus, we've got permission off the City Council to use any parks in the city, as long as we let them know which parks we're going to go to. We go to Walton Hall Park, we've got Stanley Park, we've got the Res up on Stewart Road, where we did the bridge project with Imagineering Course in Liverpool, and we're doing stuff under the subways as well, and the bypass. So there's going to be some poetry stuff. We're going to have it. We're doing a cinema on the 1st of December with Cinema Nation as well. So that's going to have a look at old films and
Is
stuff
that
like
outside?
outside.
We
Well,
went
that's why
to
we got
one
the
at the
fleece
Albert
blankets.
Dock outside in winter. We were absolutely
You
frozen.
floated
we've got-
on the
we've
water. It was
got
like
the,
the coldest bum that you've ever had in your life. Wasn't
We've
it?
got the fleece blankets, so
Yeah.
that might help. Hot water bottles as
yeah,
well.
that's a good shout.
Yeah, so we've got 30 hot water bottles and 30
Oh,
blankets. So
They had the heater things you put, and we were trying to sit by
No,
them.
we're
It
not
was
that
so
posh.
cold.
It was all right. It was good. It was
It was
amazing though.
Was it a wonderful life?
Wonderful
we went
life.
to
We
see.
watched.
Cool.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
we
But,
did one with our house.
We've had Terry May on, and Terry May spoke about the bridge project and everything
And
going
the
on.
bridge project was amazing
Yeah.
for one. We need
It's
to have
brilliant,
more things
wasn't
like that in
He
the northern
said that.
city. And when we're based in county, it's always the left ward. If the ward that's
Yeah.
left and doesn't get investment, and that's the problem. You know, we've got Everton in the community and Everton football. What happens when that goes, we don't know. And but businesses and organisations are going to struggle, and the community are going to struggle as well.
Yeah.
So I hope we have a bit of investment. As
And
well.
something to fill that space for something else.
There's got to be something coming in.
Mhm.
Isn't there?
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
definitely. So you took your mobile base and you took it somewhere dead special last month now?
Last month, I think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were invited by the National Youth Agency. They'd seen us on Twitter, and someone from the education, and I think Tracy Ramsey from Hope Uni
Yeah.
recommended that we've got a bus, and they wanted to have a bus in their youth zone. So we went to the Labour Party conference for the week
Brilliant.
and sat out in the rain, had a silent disco in horizontal rain. You know, if you know the arena in the middle
Yeah.
of the convention centre, the rain was like that, and we're dancing around, and people are walking past going, these youth workers, we don't care. And then we did a silent disco inside the youth zone, and then someone who had been in to see Keir Starmer's speech had come out, and she said, I felt a bit flat because the exhibition centre was like, there was no one there. And then she turned the corner and she seen us all dancing, and she got involved. And she was in a wheelchair, and she got out the wheelchair and she was dancing. And then I seen her on the last day, and she went, I said, how's your conference been? She went, oh, it's been brilliant. I really enjoyed it. She went, and told me that about when she came out of the speech. She went, and the best bit of it was when I was doing the silent disco.
Yeah.
That's the best bit. Like, I was like, oh, wow.
How lovely.
Oh, amazing.
But yeah, it's great.
So has anything come from that?
Yes, so we've got people from London. So just took a phone call earlier on to say, can we come down and visit and help them set up some youth projects,
Brilliant.
which is really good. We've had there was a fish and chip van next door to us, and they were giving out free fish and chips. It's all about the quota, so they had 300
Yeah.
portions. So we sat here around here making their boxes because the lady was sitting outside building boxes by herself. So as we do, I was going, right, so what are you doing? Blah, blah. And she went, I'm just building the boxes for the fish and chips. So we'd get inside, put the heater, we've got the heater on in there, and then we end up building it. So we got free fish and chips first in the queue, knock on the door,
Oh,
amazing.
and then the people, our colleagues from the National Youth Agency, Lee and that, was like, oh, fish and chips. I said, I'll go and get you some. Straight to the door, and like, there you go.
Oh,
Brilliant.
So, and they made a donation to us, a little donation to help us to do the
people
stuff.
are so kind.
Yeah,
aren't they, I think?
So yeah, it was a nice little donation. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
And they have a big trawler that goes to the North Sea.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? So moving forward, what are the plans?
So plans. So this bus isn't funded at the moment. We're just getting little drips and drabs of money to get it up and running properly. Did I call it the bus?
Yes.
So I normally call it another name as well, but there you
Go
go.
on.
It used to be the Ugly Duckling.
Oh.
So if you look at the pictures that you
Well,
shared,
I shared a picture
Yeah.
and I purposely shared because I wanted people to know what we were going to be on.
yeah,
Because if you sort of look at this could potentially, when you're looking on screen, I'm going to give you a little tour of the base in a minute. But if you were to look, we could be sat in an office, couldn't we? You
We
know.
could. Yeah.
So I
Very
shared
warm.
a picture of the base before, when it just
And the
looked like a
base
white
after,
band, didn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to see sort of, come when it arrived, and then I saw another bit and I was like, oh, it's boss. And then you've done like the seating and things, and that was amazing. And then I've just come on today and you've got like a lovely banner, and the decks are on, and the sides
Screen,
open, and it's
yeah.
got a television, it's
Yeah.
got another
We've got an
television.
awning as well that you haven't seen.
And I've
which
seen
has a
your
room.
awning.
Have you seen the awning?
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got a room for the awning as well.
I haven't seen the room.
So
yet.
so basically we're just getting funded at the minute to do that. So we got funding off Talk Future Fibre Fund to do the inside,
Yeah.
which we started and wrapped all the shelves and stuff to make it look nice.
Yeah.
Just perfectly in time for the Labour Party
Perfect.
conference, because it's like we need to do something, and then we put all the wooden shelves that in. And then Marks and Spencer's have just given us £1,000 as well to do stuff, and that's what pays the DJ decks.
Oh, isn't that
Yeah,
fabulous?
so we're whatever money we do, we invest back in there.
So when you're out, before Helen does a quick talk, when you're out and about with it, people can just come up and approach you, can they?
Yeah,
you know.
so basically the bus will park wherever it goes.
Yeah.
So at the minute we're doing some work with McDonald's around this area. So
Yeah.
working with the owners there because they've had a few little issues
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
some of their customers, young people who come in not realising what the impact of their behaviours have on the other customers.
Yeah.
So we've got some funding off the Midside Police Community Cashback, so proceeds of crime money
Yeah.
to take the bus out once a week and work with the detached workers as well. So the detached team's on the bus, on the streets, and we're on the bus. And then we go and sit in the car park, we'll open up the signs, and then young people can come and have a chat. We'll go into the stores and go there. So it just depends where we go. If we're in the parks in the half-term programme, we always want to try and get the kids out to do physical activity in the parks. And I think it's better to be in the green space than
definitely.
in the city space as well. So we'll take it out there. But the plan for us is to have this as a full-time project, basically, to make sure we've got the centre open, but also this can go to people who we wouldn't normally reach, and we'll take our services to them. So there's a few pipeline plans for us to look at what we can do.
So what's the uptake when you're out there?
So depending on where we're based, so we're Walton Hall Park, like people passing by, it's like you see them walking along the path, and then you see them look, and then they go, phew, straight over to you. So it's like a drawn attraction, and I think that's the beauty of how colourful the bus is.
It's quite it's user friendly. When you see it, it looks
like,
nice.
Oh, I'm going to do that, and then with the music blasting, they go, oh, what's happening here? And then when we see them approaching us, then we'll approach them as well. And just go, oh, you're all right, and introduce ourselves, and then get chatting, and then people can then get involved. So they can scan the QR code, you've got registration and stuff.
There's a lot of people who want the kids to do things, but they can't necessarily fund them. So, for example, you were saying like a photography club. As a parent, I never would have thought, oh, I'll sign my son up for a photography club when he's younger. But if something's offered there, and if it's affordable or funded, accessible, free, you would send your kids along. And a lot of people feel there's not enough for young people in most areas.
It's about knowing. So we're quite hidden for where we are. So we're based in the terrace streets along from Everton's football ground, and you wouldn't know that we were there. And that's why we parked the bus out there as well. So some people don't know us, and obviously not everybody's on social media. And word of mouth is key for us as well. So if someone has a good opportunity or a time with us, they'll go and tell their mates, and then they'll come and bring them. We always see that's happening as well. But sometimes, like, kids will come with no money. We charge 50p subs, but if a kid hasn't got them, they're still allowed to come through that door. And we don't ask them for subs. They actually offer it to us. So we say, oh, it's 50p to come, but we actually don't take it off them unless they give it to us. Because what we don't want to do is put someone in a position so I haven't got any money.
It's a barrier.
So we don't want that barrier. We want people to come there, but we want people to contribute to things as well, to say, when I put something into it, I feel part of it.
It's value as well.
It's value,
It's value massively. There's no value in free, is there? You know, and by making that donation, it's ownership, isn't it, of their club, and it's their.
And they have a say, and all the money that is raised through the subs is spent on like the games, the PlayStation, the upkeep, activities and stuff like that. So it's all put back into them as well. And then we'll make donations to kids if they do going on a trip and stuff like that. We'll make a donation to them out of our participatory fund as well. So
that's great.
Yeah, so we don't really advertise that as much, really. So
that's a cool thing, that.
You're doing so much. It's
the team's only small as well. So we've got like myself who manage the team, and then we've got Hannah, Katie who are virtually full time, and then we've got Connor and Callie who are apprentices seconded in from Liverpool Football Club for 30 hours a week.
Oh, brilliant!
And then we've got Stacey who's seconded in from youth service for 2 sessions a week as well. And then we've got Libby, our volunteer as well. So that's the team. And then our wonderful trustees.
So can people volunteer if they want to?
Yeah, so they can come and either get involved in youth work, they can become part of our board of trustees, they can come and help us do some admin, get some life skills, work skills as well. So we're always open for people to come knocking on the door.
Is there anything specific that you need?
People. We're always open for people to come there. I think for our board of trustees, we're always looking for people like who can fundraise. It's getting harder and harder now. So we're competing against the big people now. So like Premiership clubs that pay for people to do the funding bits. And we don't have that. It's us that's writing the funding bits, So people who've got fundraising experience, people who can do accountancy, anything like that. Like our social media, we always get praised for our social media, but that's not me. If you look at our social media, you can tell when it's me or not.
Banned from social media.
I'm not banned. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I've done a nice video ready to release this week. But no, what was the question?
I was asking if there was any specific things you needed or you were looking for.
So we're always looking we tend to do like fundraising activities as well. So like we'll do sponsored fund running.
You like that?
Yeah, Santa Dash and stuff like that coming up. So if people want to fundraise for us as well, we can give them t-shirts and stuff to run in and stuff like that as well. So anything really. And if they want to get experience, they go, I don't know what you think community work is, but can I have a chat? Give us a call.
Yeah.
So we have placement students from Liverpool Hope Uni, Edge Hill, John Moores University. So we're doing a bit around with them as well in the next few months as well.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So if you're interested in getting experience, come and speak to us.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because what I like about it is that our project's not set in stone. We like people to come in and change us.
Yeah.
So,
Which is
although I hate change.
Well, no, because
I love it
absolutely people have great ideas, you know, and it's important. And I think that's one of the benefits when you work with young people is it keeps you on your toes as well. It keeps your brain fresh. It keeps you open to new ideas, changes. And, you know, we're a generation who's seen a time where there was no internet. You used to say to people, are you on the phone? When you met someone, you know,
I'll meet you at 3:10, 10 past 3.
Yeah.
Oh, they haven't arrived. It's 4:15. I'll go now.
Yeah.
Or I'll ring their house phone if they were looking for house phone.
It's another world. Yeah, and so you know we need that because it's changing constantly.
Dial-up internet.
That's already got the phone up. Yeah, thank me. So yeah, people can get involved. Any volunteering opportunities. Anyone wants to go out and fundraise on your behalf. So if they wanted to go and run a marathon or anything like that and do a donation,
we can give letters of authority as well to say that.
Authority, okay.
It's basically to say you can fundraise on our name.
Oh, brilliant.
Otherwise, anyone can go and fundraise and collect money.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be letter-headed sponsor forms and stuff like that as well. So, not that we've ever had someone who's gone and done it and kept money like.
No, and I think it's just coming in and speaking and being part of it, and using the services and seeing all the amazing stuff that you're doing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we have funders that come and visit us as well, like it's Steve Morgan and stuff.
Sorry, we're going to have to turn the heating off because it's absolutely.
I thought I was sweating. I'm glad you said that.
I'm like, I thought I'm absolutely. I thought I'm just melting sweat.
Why didn't you do a tour of the bus for everyone?
I am going to do a tour of the bus, and I'm hoping that my camera skills are going to be okay.
Here we go.
So I'm going
to keep
move
still.
this way. So it's got. So you'll have to.
It's the telly, I think.
I know, but you'll have to show me. Are you cool, Connor, getting in? Yeah. Okay.
Then.
I'm going to show Connor's face. So I'm going to do this because it's going to be. So this is the bus or base.
Yeah.
You'll have to talk because the microphone's over there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to show this.
Helen's. Okay, you can talk her through it because you know
this is our wonderful logo.
You need to talk to the mic.
And we've got. Do I have to talk to the mic? I was going to lift the.
Take the mic with you. Do the roll up there.
So we've got the roller blind, which then has our wonderful
everything.
Slickers out. So in there is our amplifier, fridge, little stash of drinks there. If you want a drink, let me know. And then little amp sets and stuff, so we can have like the silent disco going on and the cinema and stuff.
Yeah.
And then behind, so we've got the whiteboard, so we're doing group activities in here. We can write up and do like what's it called? Word clouds.
Yeah, mind maps.
That's the one. Yeah. And then we've got loads of storage where we put all the games that in.
We've got DJ. Can you see the DJ?
DJ deck,
there we go. I hope Uncle Ron doesn't feel sick. It's like being on a flight simulator.
And this opens up, so this opens at like a hatch.
Yeah.
And then we won't do it now because the heat will go off.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. And then we've got the telly. Can you see the telly?
Yeah, you can see the telly. You're doing a great job.
That white thing with the blue is our hand washing facilities.
Sink.
We've got hot water.
I saw that. Yeah.
Hot water on the bus, and then to the left of that is the footballs.
Yeah, what's this then? Need a football, borrow one for free.
So whenever we're out and about, if kids haven't got a football and they want to borrow a football, we've got footballs that they can come and take.
Fantastic.
And borrow it. And that was done some funding that we got.
Fantastic.
Good.
Perfect.
Can we see us?
Yeah. Perfect. All right, there we go.
Happy days. Amazing. Look at that. So that was a good little tour then, wasn't it?
Of the bus. Yeah.
Yeah. So the bus is amazing. Or the base.
The base.
The base on wheels.
Oh, whatever.
It's a very posh bus, let's face it.
People didn't really call it nice things when we first got it because it was like.
Because it didn't look beautiful.
It was an ugly duckling.
But it is like the ugly duckling and now it's a
nice,
swan, isn't it? It is amazing. And I'm going to get my cushion back. So I'm doing my branding.
Extra warmth.
Yeah. It's roasting in here now for everybody who's listening. It's absolutely roasting. I can't see me time.
Okay.
For 43 minutes.
15 minutes.
We're all right.
Cool. We're doing good. We're doing a good job.
You could be here till 10 o'clock.
Is there anything, Connor, that you want to talk about? Anything that we've missed?
So Connor's on apprenticeship with Liverpool Football Club.
You'll have to come over here though, Connor, because the microphone's here. He really doesn't want to be in it.
No.
Connor was a young person and volunteered and then applied for the apprenticeship with Liverpool Football Club and was successful along with Callie and was a young person. And sometimes, Connor, if you don't mind me saying, didn't last the youth light.
Sometimes, I'll say all the time. I think I lasted honestly about 5 sessions.
Oh, so Connor maybe I don't know whether people can hear what Connor's saying. So he lasted about 5 sessions.
Yeah. and didn't last the full session, did you, mate? But kept coming back, which was great. And what we don't want to do is exclude people for a long time.
No.
It's always about come back and getting there. And then now he's come back, volunteered. I want to give something back. This was my experience, and it's a fantastic story to have. And then now to be part of the job, it's like you don't realise you're getting into youth work, and then you're actually in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I want to be the outdoor pursuit instructor today, and then become into youth work.
But it's also really relatable for the kids. So if there is somebody who's coming, who's maybe a little bit challenging, or things on, to be able to have somebody who's relatable to talk to is massive, isn't it? And a positive young role model.
And lives in the area as well. So like a lot of our young people and staff live in the area, work in the area, so they know what's going on
Which
as well.
is
More
great.
so,
Yeah, of course it is.
So he knows the needs of the area, don't he? And he knows the kids, the parents.
The whole setup's massively impressive, and I think the work you're doing locally is incredible. And you as discussed before, you're making a massive impact on people's lives. And if people are coming and not lasting a session, but they're coming back all the time, you don't realise how important it is for them and how they feel, So
sometimes it's just I'll have to go, and that's it for the day. Do you know what I mean? We have that conversation with them. It's like, I think it's time to go. Come back tomorrow. It's never, you're not allowed to come back.
No.
Because we never do that. And our motto at the bottom is changing lives for the better.
100%.
Changing lives.
And that's what we want to do.
You are. Fantastic.
Being the best version of yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. Even us ourselves, like, sometimes we have our bad days, don't we? Like, imagine me not coming back tomorrow.
No.
Like that.
Amazing. So everyone can get involved. I'll share all the details and things about people and get involved and all that sort of stuff. So we do have a little format. Okay. So we go on to red face moment.
I'm dying to hear yours.
Slightly
I was been looking forward to this one.
Slightly embarrassing that happened that people can laugh along with, not at you.
Or at.
All right, I'm not looking at you anytime soon.
Okay. Okay, so Connor's going to join in this one as well. Brilliant. Okay.
That's an explainable.
Yeah.
Okay, go on, Helen, you tell yours.
So we were on a course on Thursday, Friday, stayed over night in Thornton Hall, dead posh hotel, beautiful, really, really nice. So we goes down, has our evening meal. Oh, so we were given our room keys, right? So it's like a little cardboard wallet with the plastic, just plain plastic key thing in. So he gets that, goes in the room, leaves the wallet bit and just takes the plastic key with me. Sticks in my pocket, goes down, has our meal, brilliant, everything all. So I'm going to bed, okay? So I'm in room 220. So I walks along to room 220. It's only about 11:30, it wasn't that late. Zaps the door. The door opens, but the chain is on. So I'm like this, opening, I'm thinking, how can the chain be on? Because I'm here.
Oh no. Because it's not your room.
Because it wasn't my room.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. It's good job the chain was on.
I know. I was like, oh no. That's... So then I thought, I was stood there. I was going, why isn't it? That's like really random because I'm here, and I thought, oh, I'm in room 320. So close the door, goes upstairs, gets into room 320, and I thought, I'm putting the chain on. So put the chain on, and then I was thinking, imagine if the person who was in hadn't put the chain on. That's a bit like,
imagine if you'd been tired and just stumbled into bed.
I
got to sleep in the dark.
especially if she'd been drinking.
I'd had about 2 or 3 glasses. I wasn't like drinking because I actually went to bed early.
The worst thing of it is, how did your key open their door?
So I goes down to reception the next day and I said, oh, this key, I said, by the way, and I explained, and they went, all right. I said, no, I didn't really think you need to like throw that key away or do something.
The master key.
Yeah.
The key.
And I was like, I could have got in everywhere, couldn't I?
So you know what, right? That wasn't that embarrassing because the person didn't see you and you didn't walk in on anyone naked or anything.
No, but the next day I goes into the class of these 32 people that I've never met, and I said, okay, who was in room 220 last night? Right. And everyone was like, no. And I went, all right, okay, because I was about to say, I'm sorry, it was me who crashed in.
So some stranger thought someone was breaking in.
And then everyone was like, going,
weirdo.
And I went, oh, okay, nobody was in it then. I was like, I just needed to.
You should have elaborated. I'm sorry, I snuggled too close. You should have elaborated.
Sorry, I used your toothbrush.
I did that one. That was an accident. I shared a room on one. We took there's a red face. I took a gang of kids away to Madrid, which took some planning, believe me. And to save money on the trip, because we fundraised for it, the head teacher and I shared a room, like a room with 2 single beds, etc. And then she said to me, and she was quite particular, anyway, she went, Sandra, I've got to ask you something. And I went, yes. And she went, have you used my toothbrush? I went, no. Like that, as if to me. And she went, I said, no. And I showed her my toothbrush and said, feel it, it's wet. And she went, yeah, feel mine. And it was soaking. And I was like, oh. And she was a bit OCD anyway. I was having a breakdown. And I said, I'm so sorry. Oh no.
Go on then, what's your red face?
So I said I didn't have one, and then Libby, and that reminded me of one that happened. And every time we go back to play away, they remind me as well. So we did a little night walk with the kids, and we set them off so we can watch them come along the bottom of the river, and then they come up the hill. So one of the students on placement with us, it was his first weekend. So we showed them at the top of the hill, around, like, thinking like the army, like looking over at people coming up the street. So then this kid just appeared. So then I was like, run. So we were running through like the grass and stuff, and then they go, so it's that way. So I'm like that to Joe, watch the logs. And then the next minute, I just go, phew, and I did a back flip. And I was like, I'm on my back going, like a force field's just hit me and knocked me over. I'm going, what's happened here? And then the other staff, like Libby and that, who were in there, all absolutely laughing their heads off, going, and then Joe's going, and I go, how did I just like fall and just get whacked? There was a chain. Like one of those chains. I was just head height straight in there, but I could have caused some like serious damage. But every time we go there, they keep saying we watch the chain. So then Libby reminded me before while she was playing on the deck, you just have to say that one down. And I was like, okay.
Have you got a red face?
We have them. Well, dare I say it? I think I'm all right this week.
You've been all right for a good couple of weeks. What's Connor's red face?
There's a big one coming, obviously.
We had a red face, isn't it?
We won't be able to. Connor, do you want to come over and tell us, because we won't hear you?
Explain.
So Connor, our old generator, is that the one?
It is, yeah.
Was intermittent working, so we just decided on the date. We're not using that anymore. Just leave the gazebo. We don't need to blow it up. Just forget about it. Leave it at the back of the bus. And Connor, we've all been instructed you have to carry it with two people, and that. So and I didn't.
And tell them what I'm changing.
You've done your manual handling training, you've done your health and safety, and you were inducted, you've seen all the policies and stuff like that. But so we lifted the generator, Mr. Strongman, as he says, like, what did you say? Thought I was strong enough.
Yeah.
And then had a little, wasn't well previously as well, and then ended up being in hospital.
Oh no.
So I don't think it's a really embarrassing red face moment, to be fair.
Oh, no,
that's why I was like that going.
It's a little bit like,
Yeah, so.
Have you learned from the lesson?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that same night when it happened, I went, I'm taking this generator back because it's not working properly. So I took it back. I went to Costco.
I've learned. I've done a lot of these things. Over the past.
So I got a brand new generator. Had to pay a little bit more, which has now got a handle and wheels on now. So
and if you look on when you see it, it's printed all over it.
Yeah.
Lifted to people.
And it says, Connor, go and get your mate before you lift this up.
No, I do. I let you touch it.
These rules are here for a reason.
Touch it, but don't lift it.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
We have to lift it on.
Right. Shout out to the grown-ups. Any grown-ups who've done amazing things this week.
So I'm going to say all of our trustees, because they support us, they let us get on with the work and they tell us where we go. Our staff team, without our staff team, we wouldn't have the stuff that the kids, and they give above and beyond what they're paid for. And then also a big shout out to Libby, who's gone through a little difficult period, just starting a little journey now of some treatment. So I want to big a shout out to her to say that the whole team, everybody is behind her. And we're here to support you. She's been with us since she was 4. She's 18 in January. She runs the show. She's my boss. She's all the staff members' boss, and she knows the project in and out. And that's why you say it. Like,
so
it's
relatable, aren't being relevant.
So we're here for you.
Amazing. Well. I'm going to shout out to Danny de Brabander. I meant to do it last week and I never, because he's hit his £100,000 fundraiser.
Oh wow!
He's also giving us. Sandra's got a hoodie on. I had my hoodie on for the first day on the Thursday of the course.
Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
Yeah. And this lad come over and he went, I like your hoodie. And I said, it's Danny de Brabander's thing. And he goes, I know, I'm like close to Danny. I was like, all right. So Paul Sullivan was with them, and so yeah, so it was ace that, you know, we had the little conversation about how cool Danny's doing in Team DTB. Yeah, they've hit the 100 grand, and he's doing the jive in a Strictly night, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I saw that
So
training.
yeah, big shout out
That's
to him.
amazing.
It's a big shout out.
Sorry, go on.
And then my other shout out is to all the youth workers, because it is National Youth Work Week.
Indeed.
So massive shout out to them, massive shout out to you, and I was going to shout out to all your staff and everybody who supports you, and keep doing it. You know, keep supporting people, and you know, if you can call into a local youth provision or support anybody in any way, just do it. You know,
definitely. Well, my shout out's quite a big one. It's not to individuals; it's for everyone involved putting on the world, the UK Gymnastics Championship, because that's been an amazing event, and it's not something I ever thought I would like to attend or something, though I used to watch it as a kid on telly. But loads of people I know have said, God, it's really good, you know, to go and watch. And
I had bad FOMO.
Yeah,
because I should have gone.
I see loads of Facebook pages, social media, all the kids going and stuff like that.
And it's such a quite inspiring thing. And of course, you know, people travel from, a friend of mine who lives in London, she travelled up last year or when it was. And, you know, people come and they're using the hotels and all the rest of it. And I've got a shout out for Alessandra, for my son's girlfriend who's Italian. Because she's got a job here. She has to be sponsored to work here now because she's Italian, and she's got a job to start in the new year. So she has to go back into Italy for Christmas time, which is, you know, fine for her to spend time with the family in December. And then she's allowed to come back again, and she can work. She's got a job, and she's working as a hotel apartment receptionist, which is what she wanted because she speaks loads of languages. So I'm over the moon for her.
And she's worked really hard for it, hasn't she? You know, the stuff you've got to do now, forms for this and forms for that, be sponsored, and it's not just
several interviews.
It's not just going to get a job, is it?
So I'm dead proud of her, you know, and she's just so lovely. So they've gone out for a meal tonight to celebrate.
Brilliant. Well done.
So I'm really pleased.
Excellent, amazing. I can't see the time for me because my eyes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. 4 minutes is for our positive challenge mantra.
Positive challenge, I think for me, is about taking every opportunity, whatever presents yourself. Sometimes you sit back and go, I can't do that. You can, and just coming out of your comfort zone and try and do it, and live like every day's learning. Don't be afraid of it. You know, we can change and we learn from everything we do.
And you're so right, you know, because people are still getting it. I started a course on yesterday, Monday morning. And Sunday night, I thought, why do I do this to myself? Because I love learning, but I get very nervous the day before I go. Because when I went to university as a mature student, I was stood in the corridor shaking. I remember the face absolutely shaking, and I leant against the wall and didn't help. I know we were all right for time. This girl came up to me. So I was like 32 and they were all 18-year-olds. And this girl came up to me and she went, and this was the French class I was waiting to go in, and she said, I love French, it's my favourite subject. I got an A and I'm brilliant at it. And I was like, oh God. And when we went in, they said, the lecturer came in and said, right, so just speak to yourselves and then you're going to present each other. So I was sat next to her. So I spoke French, so I just spoke to her, and she went white. And then she didn't actually, you know, she had a great, she didn't speak up.
She passed the qualification, she couldn't use it.
And I was like, okay. And often they're all right, but the anxiety about pushing yourself there, starting something.
Sometimes it's about like that qualification. You can be an academic, you can have them qualifications, but actually like youth work, you can have the qualification, you can write all the essays you want, but you can't communicate with young people.
Oh, exactly. Just because you've got a skill or passed an exam, it doesn't mean you can use it in a practical way.
And that's the good thing in that
100%.
youth agency now, are pushing to have youth workers qualified, and government of DCMS have said they're going to fund some bursaries for level 2, level 3, level 6 apprentices as well.
Brilliant.
Which is great. So, and that's what we want, is we want to have a big workforce to reinvest back in.
Fantastic.
As well.
Brilliant. Well, I want to say thank you to Connor for looking after us and putting the heating on. And looking after us, because he's been the minder on the door in case anybody came to the bus.
I think it'd have been funny if they'd come in though.
It'd have been boss. We'd have got them on the show.
How have you?
Yeah, Connor's been in and out welcoming everybody. So massive thank you to Connor for giving your time. Massive thank you to Darren for giving his time. I know he's dead busy, but amazing stuff, and keep doing the amazing work that you're doing. And a massive thank you to you.
Thank you to you both.
Should we finish on a quick quote?
Yeah.
Kurt Han, and this was I was taught when I was back in National Trust days, and it's always stuck with me. So Kurt Han obviously set up like the Scouts and part of the Scouts. We are all better than we know. If only we can be brought to realise this, we may never be prepared to settle for anything less.
No.
And that's always stuck with me. And that was from like the Outward Bound days as well.
Oh, amazing.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Well done.
So, massive thank you. And we'll see everybody next week. I'm going to
Thank
get
you.
up and press end. So, you've still got 2 seconds to be able to not do anything. And